Good morning to you all. My name is Anam Zwelinjani and I'm from the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, and we'll be presenting on how Sisal fiber can be used for low-cost housing. All throughout the world, we are moving towards a society that is greener and more sustainable, and so does in the construction industry. In the construction industry, people are constantly on the search for new technologies that can be implemented in order to take out or add to what's already on the market. So for low cost housing, we use steel to reinforce the concrete for foundations and other factors like walls for tall buildings and other stuff. We thought of the idea of why not use renewable material that can be reused, that can be also sustainable, and we thought of the idea of using Sisal fiber. And Sisal fiber is cheaper, it is readily available, and it can be locally produced, so it is definitely renewable. Compared to steel, Sisal fiber is cultivated with low materials. Less water is needed for the production of Sisal fiber. Less carbon dioxide is released during the production of Sisal fiber, and many other factors. So in this video, we'll detail some of that and how it's beneficial for that, and how compared to the normal way of building, is it better than any other way of reinforcing concrete. Thank you.
In the first picture, they are showing us how Sisal fiber is being extracted. And in picture 2, they are showing us how the Sisal fiber or the fiber is being dried. And then in the last picture, they are showing us the separation of the Sisal fiber residue. The matrix mix design is composed of 1 to 0.5 to 0.4, which is a binder to sand to water or cement ratio by the weight. A binder is composed of 50% of Portland cement CPV ASTM type 3, which is a specific gravity of 3.1 grams per centimeter cube. 30% of metakaolin with a specific gravity of 2.65 grams per centimeter cube, and 20% of fly ash with a specific gravity of 1.41 grams per meter cube, which was used. The ratio of this fly ash and metakaolin aims to guarantee the durability of the fiber. Sand is used to obtain a maximum diameter of 1.18 millimeter and a fineness of 1.79 millimeter and a fineness of 1.79. Initially, fiber is washed in hot water at about 50 degrees Celsius as to remove surface residue such as mucilages. Fiber treatment consists of immersing fibers in water with an average temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, and their removal of the saturation for drying in a furnace at a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. This takes 6 for drying in a furnace at a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. This takes 16 hours for it to be dried out, and this procedure is then repeated for at least 10 to 20 times. The surface structure of Sisal fiber and Sisal residues was investigated in order to determine the possible difference among the various fiber types and assess the treatment effectiveness using the scanning electron microscope. There are three test methods in calculating the tensile test of the Sisal fiber reinforced cement based composites. The first test is the tensile test setup. So the tensile test setup is when you have an X amount of fibers using a displacement rate, and then you have a gauge length of an X amount of millimeter, which is glued to a paper template just for a better alignment in the machine and for better gripping. And then in this thing you got the upper and lower jaws, and the tensile strength will be obtained with a rupture load.
Sisal fiber also contribute to the social impact as it reduces the pollution of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. More fresh air will be made, and which will benefit human and animals, as they will breathe fresh air and contribute in their maintenance of their health. It also contributes to the economy of a country. It ensures employment in the industries, and it makes more export than imports. Sisal fiber is known as an environmental friendly material that have a low impact to the environment due to the process of raw material extraction that produces a low environmental negative effect, such as the low release of carbon dioxide, low energy usage, and no soil contamination. The uses of sisal fiber. Sisal fiber, as it is a composite material in the building products, has been included. The influences of sisal fiber on the development of plastic shrinkage in the pre-hardened state, on tensile, compressive, and bending strength in the hardened state of mortar mix is discussed. A cheap and drying shrinkage of the composite and durability of natural fiber and cement-based metrics are of particular interest and are also highlighted. The results shows that the composite reinforcement with sisal fiber are reliable material to be used in practice to produce structural elements to be used in rural and civil construction. These material can be substituted as of asbestos cement composite, which is a serious hazard to human and animal health, and it is prohibited in the industrialized country. Moving on, sisal fiber have three fibers. The first one is mechanical fiber. Mechanical fiber are for the most part extricated from outskirts of leaf. They have a rough thickness, horseshoe shape, and are rare partition and extraction process. They are also for most commercial availability of the sisal fiber. Second one is ribbon fiber. The lace strands happen in affiliation with the conducting tissue within the middle of the leaf. The relative conducting tissue structure of the lace fiber gives them considerable mechanical quality. They are long compared with mechanical strength. They can be part effortless and longitudinal course during processing. The third one is xylem fiber. Xylem fibers come in uncertain shapes and are found inverse to ribbon fiber through the association of vascular bundles. Basically, comprising of leaf-walled cells. They are effortless, breakable, and in some cases misplaced amid the extraction process. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Nicodemus Nkomo. I'll be doing a presentation on the other project that uses natural fibers as for reinforcement of concrete. The concept of using fibers as for reinforcement is not new. Fibers have been used as for reinforcement since ancient times. On this project, which is commercial and industrial concrete construction, which uses the following types of fibers as for concrete of reinforcement. I will name the types of fibers that are being used by this project. Firstly, polyfiber reinforcement concrete. And I'll also briefly explain a little bit about this type of fiber. Polypropylene is a cheap and a fiber that has a high strength when reinforced in the concrete. Secondly, asbestos fibers. These fibers are cheap and provide the cement with mechanical, chemical, and thermal resistance. Although fibers reinforced concrete appears to have a low impact in strength. That means they are not high in strength, but they work. Thirdly, or lastly, carbon fibers. These fibers have been recently used due to their very high modulus and of electricity and flexibility, strength characteristics. They increase the strength of the concrete when being reinforced in the concrete.
Good day, ma'am and fellow classmates. Sisal fiber as a reinforcement has become much more popular in the modern day building industry than it was before. The incredible tensile strength, toughness, and ductility of this reinforcement can be applied at different types of constructions due to its remarkable mechanical properties. One example that I would like to use is underground transport tunnels, like shown in the figure 9 in the PowerPoint presentation. Sisal fiber is used as a reinforcement in the concrete to layer out the inner surfaces of the underground tunnels. This enhancement in the concrete causes it to withstand a great load-bearing capacity. Thank you.
First and foremost, I would like to greet everybody. My name is Anele Malingachon. I am here to do conclusion. This project has presented various analyses on sisal fibers, which were included in the art of construction works for various reasons. For example, using the natural sisal fiber increases the strength of concrete. It possesses high strength. Sisal fiber cement siding requires far less maintenance as it suffers less damage, so it does not need to be cleaned or replaced as often, and is built to last for 50 years or longer. The most important reason for integrating the sisal fiber into the cement matrix is to increase the toughness, tensile strength, and the bend features of resulting composite. In recent times, the sisal fiber have been employed as reinforcement in concretes. Even though sisal fiber reinforcement is a bit expensive, it is the best choice.